Imagine this, Leo. You walk into a place, maybe a burger joint, maybe a coffee shop, and the cashier speaks really fast.
Oh, the panic. That terrible moment when your brain freezes.
Exactly! You know all the words in English, right? But they just disappear when you need to say, I want a medium soda and fries.
The simple sentence, the easy grammar, but the pressure makes you forget everything. That's the feeling we want to talk about today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo.
Welcome to the English Blend. We're here to help you turn that ordering panic into ordering success.
Today's topic is ordering fast food, but we're using this high-pressure, everyday scenario to explore something much bigger: fluency.
Fluency versus accuracy. It's a huge topic for anyone learning a language, especially if you're at that A2 or B1 level and you're starting to do things in English.
Exactly. So grab your coffee and let's get started. We're talking about how to feel comfortable communicating even if your grammar isn't perfect.
So, Leo, when we talk about ordering fast food, why does it feel so high stakes? It's just food, right?
It's the speed, Mia. It's a very transactional conversation. It needs to happen quickly, and the person serving you probably expects a quick answer. They don't have time for us to check our verb conjugations.
Right. There's no time to check if you should say, I want, or I would like to have. You just need the food. That urgency perfectly illustrates the difference between fluency and accuracy.
It's really important for our listeners, especially those at the A2 and B1 levels, to understand this distinction because it changes how you practice.
Let's define them simply. Accuracy, for us, is about being correct. It's the grammar, the spelling, getting the vocabulary just right. It's what you practice in school and on grammar tests. It's the rules.
And accuracy is important, don't get us wrong, but it's not the whole story. Fluency is different. Fluency is about the flow. It's about how smoothly you can communicate your ideas without long pauses.
It's the ability to get your point across. That's our first key phrase today. To get your point across. It means making sure the other person understands your intended message, even if you make a little grammatical mistake. The message is successful.
If you go into a fast food place and say, 2 burger, big fry, you have definitely gotten your point across. You'll receive your food. The order is understood.
The grammar police might mentally note your error, but your hunger is satisfied first. That's the goal in real life, right? Communication success over grammatical perfection.
Exactly. And the big block for A2 and B1 learners is often the fear of inaccuracy, the fear that a mistake will cause misunderstanding or worse, judgment.
And that fear turns into long pauses, or sometimes total silence. You try to build the perfect sentence in your head, brick by grammatical brick, analyzing every preposition and every tense. By the time you're ready to speak, the cashier has likely moved on to the next customer.
We call that analysis paralysis. You are analyzing the grammar so much that your mouth physically won't move. The machine of speech is jammed by the constant requirement for perfection.
That's where grammar actively blocks fluency. It's ironic because we study grammar rules to speak better, but sometimes focusing too intensely on those rules stops us from speaking fluidly.
It's a common trap because we prioritize the correctness taught in textbooks over the speed required in real life. Fluency needs automaticity. It needs phrases to pop out instantly.
And ordering fast food is the ultimate test of automaticity. You need standard phrases, things that come out quickly and smoothly without conscious construction.
Think about the classic fast food transaction. It always follows a pattern. The questions are predictable, which is great for learners.
Hello, welcome to Burger Town. Can I take your order?
Yes, I would like, or can I get, or simply the number 7.
For here or to go?
To go, please. Or for here. This is a chunk that always appears.
Will that be everything?
Yes, that's all. Thank you.
If you can master those 4 or 5 lines, those prepackaged chunks of language, you're highly fluent in the fast food context. Your fluency is defined by your ability to navigate the social script, not by your perfect pronunciation of th.
Let's elaborate on this idea of grammar blocking us. I think the source of this blockage is often rooted in the testing culture of language learning.
Often, learning focuses heavily on written accuracy first. We spend hours writing perfect essays or filling in gaps on worksheets, where grammar is the absolute goal.
And that writing skill, while valuable, doesn't translate directly to high-speed, high-pressure, real-time conversation. Real-time conversation is messy. It involves noise, different accents, and interruptions. When you're at the drive-thru, the speaker might have a strong regional accent, or the speaker system might be fuzzy. You might miss half the words.
This is why focusing on meaning is key. When you order, focus on the result. I need a sandwich and a drink. That's the core meaning you must convey.
If you panic and you just point at the menu, sometimes that still gets the point across. And honestly, that's okay sometimes.
And that's a real-world solution, actually. Using body language, using numbers like number 3 combo, using names of items. It's all part of communication. It doesn't have to be purely verbal communication delivered with perfect syntax.
Let's bring in a short story here, a cultural note about ordering and how misunderstanding can happen even when you think your English is great, Leo.
Perfect. I remember a time I was in New York and I went to order coffee. I felt super confident, B2 level, ready to go. I had studied the American ordering script.
Go on. This sounds like a story where accuracy failed, but fluency survived.
I asked for a skinny latte. I thought it was very fluent and accurate in my choice of words. The barista looked at me, and they repeated something back really fast that sounded like large skim venti. It was a stream of sounds.
Uh-oh. Fast speed strikes again. The linking sounds just blend together.
Yes, I panicked because I recognized some words, but not others, and I knew there was a line behind me. I wanted to move the conversation along, so I just nodded quickly. I was prioritizing flow over absolute understanding.
So what did you get?
I got a gigantic cup of low-fat milk with a tiny hint of coffee. It was huge. I had accidentally ordered a venti, which I didn't realize meant extra large in their particular sizing system. I had also forgotten to specify hot or cold.
So the size vocabulary, a totally common everyday word, became the barrier. The cultural difference in naming sizes caused confusion, and the speed prevented clarification.
Exactly. The lesson was my fluency was good enough to keep talking and keep the transaction moving, but my listening accuracy failed me, especially with fast transactional speech coupled with unfamiliar sizing terms. I didn't clarify the size quickly enough.
Instead, you chose to keep the flow going, which is great for practicing fluency, but sometimes results in getting an unexpectedly large coffee. You survive the conversation, but maybe not the caffeine content.
That's the trade-off. But the main thing is I successfully completed the transaction. I paid, I got a drink, even if it was too large, and I left. I got my point across, and the barista understood my core request for a skinny latte.
And that leads us back to the core idea. Don't strive for perfection that leads to silence. Strive for communication completion.
If you make a mistake with the plural noun, if you say two burger instead of two burgers, no one in the fast food environment is going to stop you. They just hear the number 2 and the core noun burger. Their job is processing the order, not correcting your grammar homework.
They care about the inventory count and the payment, not your grammatical knowledge.
So how do we train our brains to prioritize this necessary level of fluency, especially for high-speed moments like ordering? We have some very practical tips for our listeners today, focusing on how to prepare for speed.
Yes, let's shift into the practical steps that learners can take starting tomorrow when they are practicing ordering in English.
Tip number 1, and this is crucial for the listening side of fast food because they speak so quickly, massive listening.
Massive listening doesn't just mean listening to slow educational podcasts like ours, Leo, although we love those. It means listening to English spoken at normal, fast, native speed, even if you only understand 60% of it.
You need to expose your ears to the rhythm of quick speech. Fast food workers speak fast. Drive-thru speakers are terrible quality and often muffled. You need practice hearing compressed, rushed, or highly accented speech.
Find YouTube videos of people ordering food or movie clips that feature quick exchanges between servers and customers. Listen to how the linking sounds work. How "can I get" often sounds like "can I get," or "what you having" sounds like one blended word.
This helps you recognize words as sounds in context, rather than just printed letters. This is vital when the pressure is on and your brain needs to decode the message instantly.
And remember, with massive listening, you're not trying to transcribe every single word accurately. You are simply training your ear to keep up with the speed and rhythm. The goal is flow.
Our second practical tip is all about speaking output. Learn chunks, not individual words. This is how you bypass the grammar analysis entirely.
Chunks are groups of words that naturally go together. They're ready-made phrases that are pre-approved by native speakers, and you can deploy them instantly without building them from scratch.
For the fast feed context, a chunk is, "I'd like the number 3 combo," or "Can I swap the fries for a salad?" It's one unit of meaning.
These are phrases you don't have to construct. You don't think, "I would like the." You just memorize the whole structure. "I'd like the." You say it as one fast unit.
The grammar is already built into the chunk. When you use chunks, you bypass the grammar analysis entirely, which completely eliminates the blockage we talked about earlier.
If you know the chunk "for here or to go" is always asked at the end of the order, then prepare your chunk answer, "To go, please." Practice saying it 10 times. Now it's automatic, like muscle memory.
This is much faster than mentally translating, "I need to take the food with me outside," into formal English in real time. Just use the ready-made chunk.
Think of chunks as your language toolbox. If you have to build a chair quickly, you don't stop to cut the wood and measure the nails. You grab the pre-made legs and hammer them together. Chunks are the pre-made legs of communication.
Our third tip helps specifically with that freezing moment when you feel the analysis paralysis starting, the 3-second rule.
This is a mental hack to keep the flow going. When someone asks you a question in English, you must start making a sound within 3 seconds, maximum.
It doesn't have to be the perfect final answer. It can be a filler. It can be a hesitation noise. It just needs to break the silence.
A simple, or just a moment, or let me see what I want. These natural fillers buy you critical seconds to formulate the core of your response.
Crucially, they keep the conversation flowing. They signal to the other person, "I am still here. I am processing. Don't move on yet." This demonstrates fluency.
In a fast food line, if the cashier says, "What drink would you like?" and you freeze in silence for 10 seconds, they think you don't understand, or they might become impatient and repeat the question louder. But if you say, let me just check the drink options. Yes, I'll take a large Coke. That filler word, or actually made you sound more natural and fluent, even though you were thinking. You bought time. The 3-second rule forces you to overcome the fear of silence and the need for immediate, flawless perfection. Just open your mouth and start making noise. Say something, anything, within 3 seconds.
It's practicing the delivery system, the speed and the rhythm, separate from the specific content.
Tip number 4, let's focus on vocabulary efficiency. Target high-frequency vocabulary and essential verbs.
In the fast food environment, you need very specific nouns: burger, fries, soda, combo, coupon, ketchup, large, small, and very specific verbs: take, get, have, order, pay.
Don't waste energy trying to learn words like sumptuous or gargantuan, when delicious and large will work perfectly fine. Focus on the core communicative vocabulary required for the transaction.
If you know the difference between "for here" and "to go," that's 90% of the relevant spatial vocabulary covered. You are prioritizing utility over complexity.
Prioritize utility over novelty. This helps streamline your mental lexicon when you are under pressure. Your brain doesn't have to search through thousands of words. It only has to find the 10 most common words for this scenario.
And our fifth and final practical tip for today: role play the situation.
Practice makes permanent, not perfect. You need to simulate the high-pressure environment without the real-world consequence of getting the wrong food. Stand in front of a mirror, or use a language partner or an app and practice the entire ordering dialogue at maximum speed. Force yourself to rush.
You pretend you are the customer, and then you pretend you are the cashier. Switch roles. Say the lines quickly. Don't worry about minor grammatical slips. Just practice the flow and the speed of the social script.
Use different accents if you can. Imagine a super fast New Yorker or a slow, soft British person asking for your order. This applies the massive listening you've been doing.
If you practice ordering 20 different times, even if it's just role-playing with yourself, when you get to the real counter, your brain will instantly access those practiced, fluent neural pathways. You won't have to build the sentences from scratch.
Now let's dive into our language focus section, Mia. We already mentioned get your point across. Let's reinforce that idea as a measure of success.
Getting your point across means successfully achieving the goal of communication. In the fast food scenario, the primary goal is getting the right food and paying successfully.
Example. My pronunciation of the word mayonnaise was terrible, but I managed to get my point across and they put the mayo on the burger anyway.
It removes the emphasis from perfect sentence construction and puts it squarely on successful, functional delivery. That's the key to fluency.
Our second key phrase is something everyone experiences when learning a language, especially when trying to increase output speed: to hit a wall.
Hitting a wall means reaching a point where you suddenly stop making progress, or you feel completely blocked, frustrated, or mentally exhausted. It's a very common, very normal feeling in language learning.
Maybe you've been fluent for 5 minutes, ordering successfully, and then the cashier asks a totally unexpected, non-scripted question like, would you like to try our limited edition dessert swirl? And suddenly, you hit a wall.
Your brain just stops. You don't know the word swirl, you didn't prepare for limited edition, and the fluency is gone. It feels like all the progress you made has disappeared.
When you hit a wall, remember the 3-second rule. Say, pardon, or could you repeat that more slowly? Deploy a clarification chunk. Don't let the wall stop you entirely. Use it as a point to pivot.
Hitting a wall is a normal part of the learning process. It's not a sign of failure. It's simply a sign that you have reached the edge of your current vocabulary or prepared social script.
We often hit walls when we move from comfortable, predictable topics like ordering food to unexpected or complex topics like discussing the ingredients of a new item.
And that brings us perfectly to our third and final phrase, which is the most essential for maintaining motivation. It's not the end of the world.
What does that phrase mean, Mia?
It's used to tell someone that a minor problem or mistake is not nearly as serious or disastrous as they might currently think it is. It's about perspective.
When you misuse the verb tense, when you confuse can and may, when you accidentally order a venti coffee when you wanted a small one, it's not the end of the world.
You still have a drink. You still managed to communicate in a foreign language. The earth will continue to turn and your language journey will continue. It's just a small error.
This phrase is essential for managing the fear of failure. Language learners, especially those moving toward fluency, are often way too hard on themselves, treating every tiny error as a huge global failure.
If you make a mistake, just smile, apologize if necessary, maybe say, "Oops, sorry about my English," and try again. It's not the end of the world if you misspeak or misunderstand an accent.
Let's spend some more time detailing how to use these chunks and maintain flow, because this is where the A2 to B2 learners struggle the most, especially under that pressure of the line forming behind them.
When we talk about chunks, we aren't just talking about individual phrases. We are talking about entire social scripts or short, ready-to-go sequences. Think of ordering fast food as a 4-part script that you memorize through practice. You need to know Scene 1, greeting. Scene 2, the main request. Scene 3, the add-ons and clarifications. Scene 4, payment and closing. If you mix up the scenes, if you try to pay before you order, that's okay. But if you know the lines for each scene, you're always ready to respond to the trigger phrase.
For example, in scene 3, the add-ons, the cashier might ask, "Would you like that large?" Or "Do you want cheese with that?" Or "Do you need any sauces?"
Your ready-made chunks should be yes, please, or no, thank you. Or if you need clarification, what size is the large? Or which sauces do you have?
If you use "yes, please," you are demonstrating perfect social fluency, even if you stammered a bit during scene 2 when you asked for the burger itself. It balances out.
And remember our tip about high-frequency vocabulary. If you only learn large, medium, and small, you are prepared for almost any standard sizing question globally.
But you might hit a wall if you go somewhere that uses grande or venti, like in my coffee story.
That's right. And when you hit that wall, you immediately deploy a clarification chunk. Sorry, I don't know that word. Or, can you show me the size?
That is excellent advice. Using a clarification chunk keeps the flow going, keeps the conversation fluent, and helps you learn the new word without completely panicking and shutting down. You stay in the game.
Fluency means being able to manage the conversation, not just being able to speak perfectly. It means managing the unexpected.
Let's circle back to the structure of the language, the grammar that often blocks us. Why do we as learners often feel compelled to use the most complex grammar structure possible?
I think it's because students are often first taught the most polite and formal forms, like, I would be grateful if you could provide me with a menu at your earliest convenience.
Which is a beautiful, highly accurate sentence, but utterly unnatural and terribly slow when ordering a $5 burger combo when there are 10 people waiting behind you.
In a fast food environment, maximum politeness is less important than maximum efficiency and speed. Time is money, literally, in that setting.
So, can I have the fries? Or give me the fries if you're feeling informal, is functionally superior to, I was wondering if it would be possible for me to receive the French fries in addition to my main course.
Absolutely. Use the simple, direct language. A simple subject-verb-object structure is your best friend when focusing on speed and fluency. You should intentionally simplify your grammar under pressure.
The goal is to maximize speech output while minimizing processing time. Simple grammar equals faster processing.
And this practice of simplifying your language under pressure is actually what makes native speakers sound fast, too. We use contractions, I'll instead of I will. We sometimes drop subject pronouns in informal settings, and we primarily stick to the simple tenses.
When practicing role play, tip 5, practice using contractions relentlessly. Instead of I will take, say I'll take. It sounds more natural and it saves a split second of speaking time. It simulates native flow.
Little things like that, the rhythm, the speed, the simplified grammar add up quickly to help you feel and sound more fluent.
We talked about massive listening as tip 1. Let's emphasize the idea that you shouldn't pause the audio, even if you are confused.
When you are practicing listening for speed, forcing yourself to keep up with the fast, natural speech, even if you miss something, is the core of the training.
If you hit the pause button every time you don't understand a word, you train your brain to rely on that safety net. In the real world, the cashier will not pause for you to look up vocabulary.
Right. So when listening to that fast food video, if they say, "Next, can I take your order?" and you only heard "next, order," that's enough. Your brain needs to focus on those high-frequency words that carry the primary meaning.
It's like driving a car. You don't look at every single tiny stone on the road. You look for the major signs and the major obstacles. In language, focus on the words that deliver the key message, the nouns, the numbers, the core verbs.
What is the cashier asking? Are they asking for money? Are they asking for food? Are they asking for size? That's often all you need to know to formulate your response chunk.
Let's run through the full list of tips one more time for our listeners, just to solidify them, because they are so practical and easy to implement this week.
Tip 1, massive listening. Listen to fast, natural speech and force yourself not to pause. Train your ear for speed.
Tip 2, learn chunks. Memorize full transactional phrases. Don't build sentences. Deploy pre-made units like
to go, please.
Tip 3, the 3-second rule. Start making a sound within 3 seconds of being asked a question to maintain conversational flow. Use fillers like or
Tip 4. Target high-frequency vocabulary. Focus on the few nouns and verbs specific to the environment, like small, large, combo, pay, napkin.
Tip 5, role play the situation. Practice speaking quickly under fake pressure with a partner or mirror to build automaticity and overcome mental blocks.
That covers the how-to. Now let's briefly return to our language focus and why these idioms are so important for mental resilience and maintaining a growth mindset.
Mental resilience is truly the key to fluency. If you think making one mistake is catastrophic, you will always prioritize slow accuracy and never achieve rapid flow.
Remember, if you make a small error or order the wrong drink size, it's not the end of the world. Keep moving forward.
And even if you stammer, if you use simple words and perhaps you point a little bit, if you receive the correct meal and the transaction is complete, you got your point across. Success is defined by communication achieved.
And if you find yourself unable to continue speaking, don't worry, you just hit a wall. That happens to everyone. Acknowledge the wall, take a deep breath, and deploy a clarification chunk to keep the conversation alive.
That's the beauty and forgiveness of real-world communication. People generally want to understand you and help you complete the order.
Especially in transactional situations like ordering fast food. They are highly motivated. They want your money, and you want their food. You are both actively motivated to complete the dialogue successfully.
As you frame the exchange as a shared goal rather than a difficult test, the performance pressure instantly drops.
So tomorrow, if you go to a cafe or a restaurant where you can practice, remember simple sentences, pre-made chunks, and above all, don't stop talking just because you fear a tiny grammatical error.
We're talking about communicating, connecting, and completing tasks, not grading your grammar essay.
We've covered a lot today. The definitions of fluency versus accuracy, the specific grammar traps, the utility of the 3-second rule, and managing those moments when you hit a wall.
I hope our listeners feel much more confident about using simple, powerful English to navigate quick, everyday situations like ordering food.
Remember that daily, intentional practice is the real engine of fluency. Try using one new chunk every day this week, maybe just a new way to order coffee or request an item.
Start small, get those quick wins in low-stakes situations, and build your confidence from there.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of The English Blend. We love helping you speak English naturally and with confidence.
Next time, we are going to move away from the service industry and talk about something totally different: how to talk about your hobbies and passions using expressive language.
That sounds fun. We'll focus on how to describe your favorite activities without just saying it is good, but using more advanced, fluent vocabulary.
Perfect. That was a great talk.
Yes, see you in the next episode of The English Blend.